Umibōzu. Remember that giant bald man you swore climbed out of the ocean? Yeah, turns out that wasn't your imagination. It was Japanese. His name is Umibōzu, meaning sea monk. Although, personally, if I saw this thing climbing out of the ocean, monk wouldn't be the first word that came to mind. The first thing would probably be, hear me out, because what emerges from the water can only be described as tall, dark, and handsome. That is, if your type happens to be men who are bald as hell, like everywhere. According to Japanese folklore, nobody really knows where the Umibōzu came from. Some stories claim it's the restless spirit of a Buddhist monk who drowned at sea. Others believe it's simply an ancient yokai that's haunted Japan's oceans for centuries. Either way, it has one hobby: sinking boats. If you ever cross paths with an Umibōzu, the first thing you'll notice is that the ocean suddenly goes quiet. Then a massive shadow slowly glides beneath your ship. Only, it isn't a shadow. It's him. Sometimes the Umibōzu simply flips the entire ship over with his enormous hands, leaving everyone to drown. Other times, he'll calmly ask the crew for a bucket. If your first thought was, will he use that bucket as a wig? Nope. Instead, he'll use it to start scooping seawater into your boat until it sinks. Honestly, I don't know who hurt him, but judging by that hairline, it might have been genetics. Luckily, though, folklore says there's one loophole. If the Umibōzu asks for a bucket, hand him one without a bottom. He'll supposedly keep trying to fill the impossible bucket while you sail away. So, yeah, smooth sailing. Pontianak. Imagine you're walking home at night when you hear a baby crying somewhere in the trees. Your first instinct is probably to run away. I mean, help. Big mistake. Because according to folklore, the crying isn't coming from a baby at all. It's coming from its mother. And she's been dead for a very long time. The Pontianak was once a woman who died while pregnant or during childbirth. Instead of passing on peacefully, she returned as a vengeful spirit, forever trapped between life and death. At first, she looks like a total baddie. Pale skin, long, flowing black hair, white dress, usually standing alone near roads, forests, or banana trees. But the second you're dumb enough to get close, and let's be honest, it's always men, the illusion disappears. Her eyes glow red, her fingers stretch into claws, and the sweet scent of flowers surrounding her suddenly gives way to the stench of a rotting corpse. If that stank breath doesn't kill you first, she will. She rips open her victims' stomachs and devours their organs before disappearing back into the night. So, yeah, maybe don't follow mysterious women into the woods at 2 in the morning. I know, controversial advice. Anyway, her favorite victims are men and pregnant women. The men, I can understand. The pregnant women? Bit harsh, if you ask me. Luckily, folklore gives you a fighting chance. It's said she has a small hole in the back of her neck. Drive a nail into it, or in some versions, the crown of her head, and she transforms back into an ordinary, beautiful woman. And if you don't happen to be carrying a nail around, apparently throwing a pot at her head works too. Oh, and one last thing. If her crying sounds soft and distant, she's actually very close. If it sounds loud, she's farther away. Honestly, I just avoid following crying babies into forests in the first place. La Patasola. Picture this. You're lost in the Colombian rainforest when you hear a woman calling your name. She sounds frightened, like she desperately needs help. If your first thought was, I can fix her, my only response is, break a leg. Hers, ideally. Otherwise, she's probably breaking yours. You see, according to Colombian folklore, La Patasola literally means the one-legged woman. She was once a beautiful woman who, depending on the version, either cheated on her husband or abandoned her family. When he found out, he got mad as hell, chopped off one of her legs, and left her to die alone in the jungle. But death, apparently, wasn't enough punishment. 'Cause now she roams the rainforest on a single leg, somehow still moving faster than people with the recommended 2. But when you'll first encounter her, she'll have you head over heels, or should I say heel. She's got long, dark hair, a soft voice. Sometimes she's holding a baby, and sometimes she's crying. Either way, the goal is the same. Get you close enough to stop thinking with your brain. That's when she transforms. And let's just say, she'll definitely sweep you off your feet. Her face twists into something monstrous. Her eyes burn with rage, her mouth fills with fangs, and she attacks with claws strong enough to tear apart both people and livestock. Hunters, travelers, unfaithful men, and especially non-subscribers are said to be her favorite victims. So if you want to be one step ahead of her, which isn't exactly difficult, just subscribe to my channel, and maybe don't follow her into the forest. If that doesn't work, some stories say religious symbols or making the sign of the cross can also keep her at bay. So yeah, I had another one-leg joke lined up, but I'm stumped. Kanontsistónties. The next creature is the ultimate proof that head really is everything. Because that's literally all it is. According to legend, the Kanontsistónties, also known as the flying head, is exactly what it sounds like. A gigantic severed human head with tangled hair, bat-like wings, and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth, which raises one important question. How does one end up becoming a nobody? According to legend, it all started during one particularly brutal winter. Food became scarce, people were starving, and the younger warriors wanted to leave in search of a better home. But the tribal elders warned them not to. They believed the famine was a punishment from the spirits, and that trying to escape it would only make things worse. Naturally, the younger warriors disagreed. They butchered the elders, cut off their heads, and yeeted them into a nearby lake before leading the tribe away. Turns out, the spirits weren't about to let this one go over their heads. The severed heads rose back out of the water, larger than before, sprouting wings and rows of jagged teeth. Now transformed into the Kanontsistónties, they hunted down the fleeing tribe, devouring everyone responsible until no one remained. To this day, the flying heads are still said to haunt remote forests and lakes. Some people claim you'll hear the slow beating of their wings before you ever see them. Others say you won't hear anything at all until a giant face is suddenly staring back at you. Luckily, the Kanontsistónties has one fatal flaw. Apparently, it's an absolute fat ass, without the ass, obviously. One clever woman realized it'd try to eat anything it thought was food, so she pretended to snack on glowing hot coals. The flying head copied her without a second thought, swallowed the burning embers whole, and literally cooked itself from the inside out. Tikbalang. What do a furry and a tikbalang have in common? They're both terrifying, and they're both pretending to be horses. The only difference is, the Tikbalang isn't only pretending. According to Filipino folklore, it's a towering creature with the body of a man, the head of a horse, and legs to match. But despite how ridiculous it looks, getting lost in the woods because of one is no laughing matter. Legend says the Tikbalang lurks deep within the forests and mountains of the Philippines, waiting for travelers foolish enough to wander off the path. And the moment you do, that's when the games begin. You swear you've been walking in a straight line, yet somehow you end up right back where you started. The trail disappears, and now you hear someone calling your name, even though there's no one there. Before long, you don't even know which direction you came from. That's exactly how the Tikbalang likes to stir up trouble. Unlike most creatures in folklore, though, it isn't always trying to kill you. Many stories describe it as an ancient guardian of the wilderness that punishes people who disrespect the forest or trespass where they don't belong. Others portray it as nothing more than a supernatural prankster that enjoys watching lost travelers slowly lose their minds. Luckily, folklore says there's a surprisingly easy way to break its spell. Turn your shirt inside out, or if that feels too embarrassing, simply ask the Tikbalang for permission to pass. But whatever you do, don't let him take you for a ride. Mavka. I'll explain this one in simple terms. From the front, smash. From the back, hard pass. And I'm not saying that because her ass is flat. I'm saying that because she has no ass, period. According to Ukrainian folklore, the Mavka looks like an impossibly beautiful young woman. Long, green, flowing hair with pale skin. It's the kind of person you'd absolutely follow into the woods. But the second you get close, she turns around. And that's when you realize the problem isn't just that she's missing an ass. It's that she's missing her entire back. In some versions of the legend, you can see straight through her, with her spine and organs fully exposed where her back should be. In others, there's simply nothing there at all. Either way, not exactly girlfriend material. Legend says Mavkas are the restless spirits of young women, or, in some traditions, unbaptized children who died before their time. Unable to find peace, they wander forests and riverbanks, singing, laughing, and calling out to lonely travelers until someone is curious enough to follow. And once you do, there are only two endings. Either you wander so deep into the wilderness that you never find your way home, or the Mavka tickles you to death. And I'm being dead ass right now. Because, you're being tickled to death by a girl with no ass. Luckily, folklore says carrying wormwood, and in some regions, garlic, onion, or horseradish, can keep a Mavka from luring you deeper into the forest. Whether she hated the smell or just respected good seasoning, the legends never really say. Black Shuck. If there's one time you cannot pet this dog, it's this time. According to English folklore, the black shuck is a gigantic ghostly dog, said to haunt lonely roads, graveyards, and coastlines across East Anglia. It has jet black fur, eyes that glow like burning coals, and a habit of showing up exactly when you wish it wouldn't. Luckily, most people who see the black shuck only catch a glimpse before it disappears back into the darkness. The unlucky ones don't. One of the most famous stories comes from 1577, when a violent storm swept across eastern England. As villagers gathered inside a church for shelter, the doors suddenly burst open, and a massive black dog charged inside. Legend says it tore through the congregation, killing 2 people before vanishing as quickly as it had appeared. Before leaving, it supposedly scorched deep claw marks into the church door. And according to local tradition, those marks are still there today. The strange thing is, nobody can quite agree on what the black shuck actually is. Some believe it's a demonic omen whose appearance foretells death. Others see it as a ghostly guardian that simply appears before tragedy strikes, making it less of a killer and more of a warning sign. Luckily, surviving a black shuck is refreshingly uncomplicated. If you see one, don't chase it, don't approach it, and for the love of God, don't try to pet it. Yes, I'm looking at you, Karen. Don't even think about it. Anyway, whatever you do not pet that dog. And definitely don't boop the snoot, the squonk. This is the only creature on today's list whose biggest enemy is the mirror. According to Pennsylvanian folklore, the squonk is considered one of the ugliest creatures ever imagined. It has loose, wrinkled skin, warts, and completely mismatched features. And the worst part? It knows it. Legend says the squonk is so ashamed of its appearance that it spends its life hiding deep within Pennsylvania's hemlock forests, avoiding anyone who might catch a glimpse of it. So now, all it really does is sit there and cry, like taking ugly crying to a whole new level. Its sobbing is supposedly so loud that hunters could track it through the forest simply by following the sound. Unfortunately for them, anyone who's actually tried catching a squonk quickly learns it has one very unusual defense mechanism. The moment it's cornered, it dissolves completely into a puddle of tears and bubbles, making it not only hard to look at, but also hard to catch. Luckily, surviving a squonk is incredibly easy, because this little beauty doesn't want to eat you or curse you. It just wants to be left alone. So honestly, avoiding it shouldn't be that difficult. And if that doesn't work, bring a paper bag, though for legal reasons, I'm not specifying who it's for. Anyway, that's enough folklore for one day. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to avoid forests, oceans, churches, pregnant ghosts, giant flying heads, men, and mirrors for the foreseeable future.